The 13th of December, this is the Media Center Ukraine. My name is Svetlana Nechepurenko, and we'll speak today about the cold weather which we are expecting for this weekend and which already started, the outcomes of the shelling, and that the blackouts and the power-outs which people are using, I would divide the statistics in the following points. The devices which accumulate the energy lead to 311 fires. The power generators led to 90 fires. And gas tanks, or in fact, the burners led to 103 fires. Now about the number of the affected and the victims as the consequences of the fires which I listed. 12 people died, 1 child among them, 83 persons were traumatized, 5 children among them. This is the statistical data on fires because of the power outages and the emergency mode of work, the voltage drop, or the use of alternative source of power devices. You brought several, I would say, exhibits of the improper use of electric devices. Could you please tell what do we see here? Well, let us start with this device. This is just a usual electric kettle, which people bought. I didn't even know where. The guys, our rescuers, brought it from the fire. It was the reason of the fire. What could be the reason, in fact? First of all, a non-certified product. Secondly, voltage drop. So when people are using several powerful electric devices, the grid cannot work, and the automatic fuse does not work, which can lead to, in fact, a fire and short circuit. The fire can be spread all over the house, so do not turn on simultaneously several powerful electric devices. And electric kettle, together with an iron, with an hair dryer, with a washing machine, they are all powerful devices. And also, you can add there to the list the stove, if it's electric, and maybe you can turn on also some other devices. So the outcome can be like that, unfortunately. Here we can see the element which the people say that they are just the sockets, remote sockets. Several powerful electric devices were turned on. So each of such devices has the necessary indicator of how much voltage and how many devices can be used. For instance, if we turn on the electric kettle, we shouldn't turn on simultaneously additionally any other powerful devices. If there is a kettle, the kettle is enough. You can get acquainted where the figures of indicators can be found, either at the back side of that or somewhere on its side. People need to calculate the voltage onto such devices. The extension cord shouldn't be overloaded. So if we have 5 sockets, we cannot use 5 electric devices. Well, there can be electric devices, but not that powerful, which not need much power, like computer, laptop. The computer does not need that much of power. But if you turn on an iron or a kettle, these power can be too much for the extension cord. And also, let me tell you that besides that, you need to look at the certified products. When you acquire such products, you can ask whether there is a certificate about any device, and you need to get the guarantee that the product is of high quality. As of the burners, gas burners, we have 103 fires because of burners. What's dangerous in them? First of all, we always advise to the people, don't use burners for cooking, because they are not for daily use. They are tourist gas burners, so that people could heat the food. It is not for the households. This one, which is the cheapest type of gas burner, so it is mobile, but it is the most dangerous. Let me explain why. When we are using this gas burner, it is also connected with the gas tank, which is one time. You cannot recharge it, the gas can, because it has really thin walls, and these walls cannot just take this load. And when we heat some frying pan or saucepan or any other dishes to cook some food, these dishes, because of the heating, can take the temperature back to the gas burner and to the gas can or the gas tank. What does the gas do? It expands. So when it expands, it can just explode. It's important to remember that. That's why we are saying you just need to heat the food. Just a short-term use of gas burners. That's what's affordable. And what else can be the danger? If you can see, there are certain reductors, and they can be either hurt or they could be either adapters which are not tight enough. So you can use the soap solution to check whether they are tight. We can use the gas tank and also lubricate the reductor, or any other adapter, any other adapters of this burner, we can see where can be the leakage or the gas leakage, which will we will see the bubbles on the soap solution. This is how we can check it. And again, the certificate when we buy them. And we do not recommend to preserve gas tanks closer to some of the windows because of the direct sun rays, and as far as possible from the children. And we have one more stove. Yes, there is a stove which is more expensive. However, still there is the same here, the same principle of action. We heat it. And why is it safer? Because the gas tank is at the side, so it can be better protected by the metal part, the metal protection, so the heating is not direct. But if we put a big saucepan or a frying pan into this device, in fact, the gas tank can be heated as well. We have the same principle. We can check it with the same soap solution. And what's also important, please read the guidelines of the producer, of the manufacturer, really attentively, and please stick to it. These are short recommendations. And also, of course, I'd like to tell about some of the bigger stoves and ovens. People will use them for heating as well. You need to check whether there are any cracks in the oven, or that the pipe is not stuck. We need to clean through the smoke pipe, because during the heating and burning, CO, as the gas is, in fact, as carbon monoxide can be felt, and people are just sometimes poisoned because of the use of oven heating or gas boilers. As for ovens, I would like to say that before, you need to have a metal sheet closer to the stove or to the oven, because the floor can get on fire. And you shouldn't use the ovens with inflammable liquids. You should use the paper or anything like that, which could be safer. As of gas boilers, you need to check whether the gas boilers are really working before the beginning of the use. There are specialized authorities for that, so you need to be sure that they're safe and do not exude CO, carbon monoxide. So if you use these devices, you should use the sensors of carbon monoxide. They are not very expensive, but they can give you a signal about the over-exceeding level of CO, carbon monoxide, in your home. That's important. Those are short recommendations for the people and the heating devices, for sure. Several recommendations. As for heating devices, we locate them in the places where the pets cannot find them, and the children as well. As far from inflammable materials as possible, at least a meter, because they should do that as far as possible, and the fire can spread it. And you shouldn't leave those devices without observation. When you're leaving your home, you shouldn't use any combustible materials. And as of the reserve sources of power, which are now actively used and will be used even more, what's the statistics on the accidents connected with these devices, and how can they be used safely? As of the accumulators and any other devices which accumulate power, we registered 311 fires since the beginning of the year, or even cases of their explosion. The rules are really simple. First of all, if we take the accumulator, it should be used together with the inverter, and it shouldn't be charged directly from the power outlet. It should be done through the inverter. And you should install it with an expert of the service company who know how to do that. It can be dangerous if you do that on your own. You should put such devices in the places where the children are not running. We cannot locate them closer to the heating devices, and we cannot locate them under the direct sun rays, because the accumulators are also responding to heat. Those are my short recommendations. But those are just really short advice. But honestly, the State Emergency Service, together with the East Europe Foundation and the program of EGAP, which is funded by Switzerland, have created the real and productive and perfect training course for all of the Ukrainians who can get acquainted with this course. So I'd like to give the floor now to Alia Bondarenko, who is the representative of East Europe Foundation. She's the manager of this project, and she'll tell you about more details what that course is. All of the dangers are described there. Alia, hello. Could you please tell how the idea was born to create such a course? Because I know that you involved celebrities, and it makes this course even more interesting and exciting, and it has the aim to attract more Ukrainians to it. Could you please tell more details about that? Yes, thank you. This idea emerged in summer as East Europe Foundation is working for more than 15 years to make Ukraine more convenient for all of the Ukrainians, and during the war it should be safer. Within the EGAP program, which is dealing with digitalization, we thought that there should be something which could help Ukrainians live through fall-winter period. Blackouts and outages influence our usual life, from the cooking to online services. So we thought, and we came to State Emergency Service as we are waiting for power outages. Now we know about the statistics, we know about the use of different devices, and we know that the people can invent something on their own, or they can adapt what they shouldn't. So, together with the State Emergency Service and Oleksandr, who was the host and is telling in this course about the safety and security, and together with the music band Tanok na Maidani Congo, Fozzy and Fagot, who are taking the interview of Oleksandr as the expert on energy efficiency, what to do. So as Oleksandr has already told us about safety, I will tell you about energy efficiency. Our expert, Yaroslav Pavlyuk, is telling how you should choose the inverter, and he drives your attention that these devices and charging stations should be of the similar producer. So you cannot do that on your own at home if you're not an expert. Rather often, people connect in multi-apartment buildings to the grid. You cannot do that. You should understand whether the cable is compliant with the norms and whether the expert can do that even. In the same way, how we can provide power for the household and to stay online, for instance. What you need to get to know from your internet provider who promises that you'll have internet, which questions should be posed. Because the internet can have, well, the provider can have the same charging station, so it will be only for 3 hours as well as you will. The experts advise that, for instance, there is no sense to provide a charging station for the whole router, because this is the inefficient use of resources. You'd better use a special power bank for the router, and it will be much more efficient. The course covers 8 topics, from heating, the use of the burners, and by the way, there is one more type, which we don't have on the table today, with an extension cord, with a kind of a pipe or the hose, and it is safer because the gas tank is further from the heated part, so you can avoid an explosion or at least heating of the gas tank. What else? We are also telling in the course that In the multi-apartment buildings, you need to get ready to this period. There are certain programs from the cities, and you need to monitor them. I know that there are house cooperatives who are interested in that actively. What needs to be done so that the elevator could work in the multi-apartment building during the power outage, or the heating if it is autonomous? As far as I understand, this is the video course, right? Those are 8 separate videos, right? Yes, this is the online course, which can be already found at our educational platform, 8 separate lectures, and in the end there are certain tests. If you answer the questions properly, you get a certificate. I'd like to drive your attention, as we are getting so much feedbacks, and 18,000 people already went through this course during the 3 weeks. Yes, we launched this course during the Dignity Day. So our objective is so that those questions can be elementary or not that complicated. But the thing is that if you do not comply with the elementary rules or neglect them, it can lead to these things. So the tests, it doesn't have an objective to not let you pass the exam. You just need to repeat the key rules and avoid the danger. How much time does an average Ukrainian has to pass to get through this course? Each lecture up to 10 minutes, up about an hour and a half. You can do it whenever you'd like. It is open 24/7. It will be never opened. It will be never closed as long as the platform exists. You can watch several lectures in a row, whatever is more convenient for you. Oleksandr, would you like to comment? I just wanted to ask Alia how many people got the certificate. 18,000, she said. So do people really want to get the certificates? But how many certificates did you get? 17,000. So 1,000 of people did not get the certificate. Some people could not pass the test, right? Well, yes, 18 people listened to the courses, but 17,000 already got the certificates. Let me tell you that the State Emergency Service employees are getting through this course as well. And not only them, we implemented the initiative together with an East Europe Foundation. We sent the letter to the regional military administrations and ministries about these courses for their employees, because these courses are really useful. And maybe they need to share their knowledge, as when I passed this course, I can share my knowledge with my wife and a child, and and we go on with that, spreading the knowledge. If 18,000 people get through this course at the platform, then maybe more people got the knowledge, 3 times more. I'm really happy about these statistics, because it will tell us that, well, I hope in the future, and it will be like that if we save at least a life, it's already an outcome. Well, if you spend an hour and a half for this course, and if it saves a life, it's already a big advantage. Are there any questions among the journalists for our guests? No questions then? So we wish all of you to get through these cold weather period and blackouts which are waiting for us safely, and in the comfort with all of the devices of heating, lighting, and cooking. Let me remind you that we were speaking about the safe use of heating and alternative power use devices. The Media Center will go on with its work at 12:30. We'll have the presentation of the